Hi everyone, I hope we are all fine. Welcome to KLEVACLICK Tv. On KLEVACLICK Tv, we receive many people, different people, and we talk about different subjects or topics. So today we are going to talk about how to change your life by mastering the skill of planning. And today on our platform, we are having Eulenda Mahambi. I think she can introduce herself because I can do it for her. Yeah.
Hi, Arnold. Thank you so much for having me. Well, viewers, as Arnold has said, I'm Eulenda Mahambi. I'm a mother of 4 kids. I'm married, obviously. In my spare time, I do guest house management for the family business.
Okay.
I'm doing product, what is this thing called? Proverbs 31 planner. All right. And I'm getting into the agricultural space. So that's basically what I'm doing in the nutshell for now.
Very, very, very interesting. So that means you are into planning.
Yes, I would need a lot of planning, especially for my day, because there's so many activities that take up my time during the day. So I would need to plan ahead in order to make sure that everything is in its place. Otherwise, I'll be so stressed, especially managing 3 and 4 kids
Wow,
majority
wow.
of the time. So I need that planning
Yes.
for a very light moment in life.
Yeah, I think that will be very interesting because we are having many people that I don't know, they're having kids, but many mothers like they don't know how to manage their kids. Like they're stressed every day.
Yeah,
You
I
see, like
know.
whenever they miss an appointment, they will tell you that no, I was preparing my kid. Sometimes even going to church, like they're always late, like late to church and things like that. So I think today is going to be very, very instructive for us, for each and every one of us. Yes.
Sure.
So now, can you please tell us if we can dive into the topic? So can you please tell us like what is planning?
Okay, so basically, planning is about intending what your life to be and then making the necessary steps and processes in order to plan and think ahead and develop a plan of how you want your life to be. All right, so it just depends in the area that you really want to set goals. That's where you now going to research and plan how your life you'd want to be. Then according to the goals that you set for your lives, then you would set them or research how you want your life to be, your desires that you already have in your heart. How do you want that life to plan out? And then you basically now start strategizing how to live out that life and implement the goals that you've set in your life for that.
Okay, yeah, very, very, very interesting and very instructive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because today, like, there are many things that I have seen myself. Like, people are trying to talk about goals and achievement and things like that. Like, but the thing is, it seems like many people are not able to actually flow with it, like to do it practically. You see, like to plan practically. You see, maybe they are talking about, okay, I'm going to have this year. I'm going to do achieve this year. I'm going to have that. I don't know, to have that amount of money, but they arrive at the end of the year like nothing is actually happening. But I think this will be one of the things that we are going to talk about today.
True,
Yes.
Arnold. A lot of people set resolutions
Yes,
for
yes.
the year,
Okay.
and by the end of the month of January, they are just out of it because generally they just have this hype about it's a new me, it's a new year, so I need to be on this level and all of that. But they never take the time to find out what are the steps that entail you in to achieve that goal, and that is very necessary in knowing that you are going to be able to achieve your goals, because we need to set smart goals which are specific, measurable. They should be relatable or realistic and very time conscious. So when you break it down, you get to see that am I going to be able to achieve this or not? So it's better than now to break down and say, no, actually, that is actually just too big for me to actually be a millionaire within this year. Maybe
Yeah.
that's your goal. So now you're like, okay, I first need to be 100 if you can put it in that way,
Yeah.
before you can actually be a millionaire. So it's just breaking down and really understanding and researching your goal to see that is this actually applicable to you, or where are you, or take a step back and realize that what can you do within the year, and then now start basically working each and every day towards that step.
Yeah.
So that at the end of the year you have you have your achieved goals, and reflect back that this actually did work, or this goal I did achieve it, and you're able to say that what worked and what didn't work. So then next year you can actually go up a notch on your goals so that you can achieve them again.
Okay, very, very, very interesting. Now, is it that everybody should, everyone is called to plan, or maybe it's just for a category of people? Let's say for businessmen or for students, or anyone can actually plan?
I think everybody should actually have a plan, and we should actually really teach our kids to also plan, because once you're a child and you know the basic principles of planning, then you grow that habit into your life and you become even better at it.
Yes.
So for some which actually don't have plans and all of that, Jim Rohn always says that if you don't have goals and all of that, he can usually guess the amount in your bank balance. So the people that actually don't have I'm not satisfied with their life is because they actually don't have plans. So it's very important for everybody to actually have a plan. Teenagers can have a plan. Mothers should actually have a plan in their day, and not just have their day just around the kids.
Yes.
But you should actually basically have a plan. Just even 3 things that you just want to achieve out of that day, because there's a time where your kid is going to be sleeping. What can you achieve in that time? Or if you actually want to rest, then you can put it in, because that's what you would have achieved sometimes, just to get in that nap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very, very, very interesting. So now, I'm asking myself, like, since anyone can actually like plan, yeah, since anyone can actually plan. So now, is it like there is a certain path that maybe we have to maybe to go into, like to follow? Like, I don't know, maybe is there any guideline that maybe we can is it a
We can
standard
use,
guideline that
yes.
anyone can actually choose to plan his life around?
Okay. I think because we are different people, everybody is different, everybody has systems or things that work for them. There's typical guidelines that you can use from the internet. When you Google, use it and find ones that fit for you.
Okay.
Some might fit for business people, some might fit for other types of people. But I usually use the SMART guideline, which is making your goals very specific.
Yes.
So now when they're specific, let's take an example of you want to lose weight. Well, if it's specific, then you know that you want to lose 10 kg.
Yes.
So now you know your current weight and you know how much you want to lose. Then it should be measurable. Within how many months would you want to lose that 10 kg? And then it's measurable, and then it's timely for the T. Which is over the course of 11 months, do you want to achieve? So how many? So when you break it down, it's like, okay, if I actually just lose 2 kg over the next few months or every month, then I'm actually on track with my goals. And then the other one is realistic. If you're weighing 90 kg and you want to lose 50 kg, that's way below what you now becoming anorexic.
Yes.
So they should be realistic. What can you do? Because there's so many things now. You have to start meal prepping and all of that. So it's just one of the ways. One of the system is using smart things. But I think if you go on Google and you check, you should find many other systems that can work for you in order to achieve your goals.
Very, very, very interesting. So I think this is very informative, ne? Whoever is watching us today, I think is learning something. Yes. So now I want to ask. You see, today we have people that say, okay, even the Bible sometimes the Bible says that, okay, don't worry about tomorrow, just think about today. So now my question is, how do you, as a life planner, so how do you relate to that? Saying that, okay, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow is for God. Just focus on today. Yeah.
I think that is so true, Arnold. With our personal, especially when you're religious or you're going to church, to be very like leave everything to God,
Yes.
which is actually not fair because you're putting back the responsibility on God for your life. And I'll actually give a very practical example that I've shared once with you before. That actually there was one time that I was actually living 1 year 4 times. So it's like over the 4 years, I just literally felt like I was living just the same year over and over. And I just went back to God and just asked, what is happening in my life? And then he just, well, what I sensed was that there's nothing specific that you're asking me. Yes, you want to be wealthy and all of that, but you're not specific. How much wealth do you want? And you want to work. Where do you want to work? How much do you want to earn? What type of industry do you want to be in? So I had to be very specific in what I wanted with God. So God is very direct with our lives. I mean, there's a purpose on which he's called us for, and there's an intention for each and everything that he creates. So if God has created things like that, or like nature for a certain intention, how much more about our lives? So I don't think that the scripture is actually we're taking it out of context when we now say no, leave everything to God. It's more of helping you to deal with anxiety and not be fearful about the future. But because you have a plan and because you've entrusted your plan to God, now you can just focus on just that one day. What can you do for the day? And that thing that you're able to do for that day is enough for God to carry you. And then tomorrow has its own worries. So meaning that you deal with today according to the grace that you've been given. Tomorrow's things, you can't deal with them because you haven't been given that grace for tomorrow. But what you can do is focus on today. And that's all that you need, is that one day is building on another day. So therefore we cannot leave it for God to just handle, because actually you are now just leaving it for the devil to actually just play around. And now at the end of the day, you just be saying, oh, okay, I asked God for this, but he didn't do it. But meanwhile, you're supposed to be active with God, partnering with God in your goals and your purpose for life, what he intended for you to do in this life.
Wow. This is very, very, very interesting. Yeah, because most of us, sometimes you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Let me just focus on today.
True.
And whatever I get for today, so that's it for me. Tomorrow, maybe I'll wait for another grace. And people call it grace.
Which is actually so unfair.
Yes. So that means we must take our responsibility.
You must take your responsibility
for your own life.
For your own life,
Wow.
for your finances. You must take responsibility for the area of your home, the area of your family. You must take responsibility. Even in the spiritual, like whichever church that you go to, you must be responsible for your own spiritual growth. It's not just dependent on God. It's just not dependent on the pastor. Everybody has their own role to play.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So thank you so much for that. So now, okay, I'm asking myself, like, when you have to plan, let's say you have to plan your life, right? So is it that there are specific areas that you need to plan your life in, or you can plan for like everything, or there are certain things that you really don't have to plan on them, you see?
Okay.
So let's say, let me give you an example. For example, I'm here and then I'm a student, you see? Do I have to plan like maybe how am I going to study? Because we already have a schedule at school, you see, things like that. When I'm a student, do I have to worry about my future? Like after school, what am I going to do? All those things. Or I should like only focus on my studies and plan about my study, what I'm doing currently, and forget the future. Or maybe I should plan on every area of my life. I don't know if my question is clear.
I think yes, you do make proper sense. It's very important that we plan for every part of our life, every aspect. In the journal that I created 7 or 6 areas that I believe that a person should concentrate on. This is you should have about 10 goals and not more than that. This can cover your spiritual, your finances, your career or your education, your business, those that are interested in business and not pursuing a career, your family and your social life. So some of those areas can actually fit. Some can be 5-year plans, some can be divided into the different categories that I just described. So you can have just one goal for each and every one, and then you know that per day that you're just hitting one target and all of that. For a student, let's get into it, I think, on a deeper level. I think with a student, you can just see over the 5 years, how would you like your life to be played out? All right. You have a 3-year degree, let's say. Within 5 years, what would your life would have been? Within 3 years, you would have completed your degree, but you should have found a place where you're going to work so that you can implement the degree. So you should, for a 5-year plan, put where you want to work, and start making, maybe on holidays and stuff like that, start working towards where you want to work. And then just because you are given a schedule on your studies and all of that, the school basically does a bare minimum. The rest is dependent on you. If you want to be a 50 average student, then you are also actually going to put in the average minimum of work that is required. So the most important is that after you are done with your classes, you need to go back and put in the work to make sure that you understand how you're going to apply that work, because sometimes people just study for the sake of studying, and they actually just put it in the short-term memory, but they're not even able to use that knowledge for work-related purposes, or even that to use it just for yourself, to create your own business around it, should you not be able to find a job. So it's very important to have your own goals and look at all the other areas as well, because as you're in school, you've got friends, you've got different areas of interest, such as going out and all of that. So some actually, and then you've got even politics within school, because you find that there's people that have been there for longer because now they've gotten into politics and all of that. So it's very important to set out how you want your life to play out within 5 years, because after school, there's still a life that you need to live.
So that means you must be a little bit conscious of the time that you have and plan according to the time. Let's say, as you said, so that means you must have maybe a 5 years plan, 10 years plan, like of the person that you want to become.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's very, very interesting. So now, I think I'm going to ask you this. Since we are talking about planning, right? So some people don't really see the benefits of planning, you see, because all over the internet, we can see that we are talking about to-do list. They teach how to make a to-do list. And some people also are saying that, no, you don't use a to-do list. So you see, like, to-do list is not effective. It won't help you, you see, like things like that. So you don't need it, you see. And they're putting out like many, many, many things. So now, if I may ask this question, like, what are the benefits of actually planning? Like, what are the benefits? What is the life-changing element in the life planning?
Okay. I would go back to the example that I made with the 4 years that I lived. It's one lived in 4 years. So what actually gave me the benefits of that was that now I became direct. I had directness of life. I was clear on where I was going, and I had a direction in life. So there was a picture. Now I can now work towards it. All right. And then my confidence actually changed, because now it's like, okay, now I'm working and there's a plan that I'm implementing. So now I can be more resolute in that there's something that I needn't be fearful that, okay, I can have another 4 years that of the same thing happening. But when I now measure and look over my plans, I can see that there's a change in my life. All right. My self-confidence has also gone up, because now I see that I can do things, and if I'm failing, then it's only feedback for me. So I can change along the course of life and see what is working, adopt things that are not are working, and then change the areas that are not working. So that has helped me to be effective also, and to be productive. So instead of just achieving one goal, let's say in a day, like now you are so hyped up that you just want to achieve more, because you're so excited that you just completed just one goal, then you're like, I can go and get another goal in the bag. You see, so you become so enthusiastic about life and so positive about life, because you can see that some of the things that you are setting for yourself, they are working. I'd also give an example about what I was listening to. Jim Rohn was given an example of how what is this thing called, a rocket that wanted to land on the moon. And I didn't know that actually every 4 minutes they had to align that rocket so that it can get to the destination, because actually you could fall off. And this is exactly what happens to a lot of people, is that when you don't have a set clear objectives, that you can fall off to anything and your life can basically turn out to be nothing. And like I said, that I had 4 years and there was nothing specific that I could relate about my life. Even though I had family and all of that, I felt that I could have achieved more. And so with having a set to-do list, with having those set objectives, now there's a direction about my life, and I'm so encouraged and so positive about it, because now I'm working towards something. And as the Bible says, that when you ask something, then you shall surely get it. So it's, even though I might not be there yet, but at least I'm in line, and I know that each and every day as I'm working towards it, it's coming closer and closer.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting and very informative. And thank you for this answer. Yeah, and I think according to what you just said, it's like planning helps us become more intentional with our lives. Like,
very intentional.
You don't just wait for things to happen.
Yes, we're not what is this thing? Passive.
Yes.
You're not reactive, but you are proactive about your life. True.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm also learning right now.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much. I think we are going to move into the other step, where you're going to tell us about what are the steps to an effective planning.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are going to talk about that right after the advert. Plus besoin de vous déplacer pour faire vos achats en Afrique du Sud, car EBI FM est à votre disposition pour vous faciliter la tâche. Nous couvrons des domaines suivants: fourniture de maison, matériaux de construction, appareils électroménagers, appareils électroniques, équipements de bureau, équipements de dispensaire et bien d'autres choses. N'hésitez pas de nous contacter au numéro suivant 00 27 78 74 82 606. Sans plus tarder, commencez vos achats maintenant. Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the advertisement, and I make sure that you contact the number that you saw in the advert, right? So thank you. All right, so we're back. Welcome again, Eulenda.
Thank you.
I hope you are fine. You're okay, comfortable.
I'm loving the
Perfect. So now we are going to go back to our question, and we said before the advertisement, we said that we are going to talk about what are the steps to effective planning. So can you tell us a bit about the steps that we can take
to effective planning?
Yeah.
Well, as we communicated before, Arnauld, the smart way of setting your goals would actually help you with one of the steps of effective planning. I think also doing a bit of research about the goals that you want to achieve. Remember sometimes that you're moving out of your comfort zone and you are now getting into goals and getting into things that you've never done before. Like, let's say exercise is something that you've never done. So now you need to research a bit and see that if it's compatible with how your lifestyle is, and then what are the changes that you would need to make. So research, find out people that are doing it so that you can also copy some of them and see how they're doing it to help you. Another thing is, for areas that are very challenging, like I think in the business, for some that are getting into the agri or whatever, like I am, I think a lot of prayer really helps me also. Is an effective step for me. Because as just for that one day, as you mentioned earlier, that you just need to focus on that one day, I literally just pray for that also as an effective way of planning. It's also a step for me. I pray also before the week or once a month at least, just reviewing my goals and all of that and going through them, going through the difficult areas and praying about them so that I can get a download of wisdom from above.
Okay.
God also said that we have the comforter, the helper that would help us. So I literally try and go into that space. Another thing is that now I'm going into coaching. I got a coach for myself. That is also one of a way of getting effective steps to planning, because there's certain areas that I don't know yet, and I can only go as far as I know and understand. So getting the help of a mentor or coach helps me to think more, and for them, I can access another mind that has actually achieved the things that I'm actually struggling with. So it's another step for me.
So talking about, sorry for
It's okay.
Yes. So talking about the coach, is it like you need a specific coach for a specific area of your life, or you can get a coach that can help you with all the areas? Because, like, let's say I'm having many challenges. Like, I have a problem in maths at school, for example, or I have a problem with my emotions. I have a problem with like my work. I'm not really effective with what I'm doing, my work, you see. I have a problem with my health. So should I get a coach for each and every area?
Well, definitely not, because every person has gifts in certain areas, and you can get the best gift, the best advice from a person that is really good on a certain strength. And that's why it's important to really, or the reason why God created us is so that we can get bits from this one and co-join from that one. So I think it's important to just have you can have a life coach of which has an influence of probably majority of your life, but you can also be very specific into this area. I need a business coach. All right, so in the area of your health, I think you would really need to involve your doctor or a personal instructor at a gym. You could actually have that. But when it comes to your emotions, I think you would really need a therapist. Maybe some of the traumas that you've dealt with. I also went through a trauma that actually, like, sometimes it will come and like in a form of in another way that I would not really see that it's actually coming from the past. But now when you go through counseling and stuff like that, you get to overcome such instances. And then, so my therapist is not the same as my personal trainer and all of that. So for different things, for different areas, I would have different people that would be the best coach for me. And then I would take the advice which would suit me and for my life. Because sometimes people don't really experience your problems in that whole or in that detail. So also praying about it would actually help you to actually identify the things that the Holy Spirit could actually help you to become relevant in your life.
So basically, you're also talking about, like, in the steps of like
Effective planning.
Spirituality also plays a certain role, according to what you're saying.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Well, for me, personal relationship with God really helps, because then certain areas it covers it, because now I can work with the Holy Spirit on which areas. He's a comforter. He's the person that is a helper and all of that. So I would speak to him in my prayer time, but then he can actually direct me to the best person that is actually going to help me for that day. So sometimes you don't even know how to link with the person. I would actually give you an example of when I actually wanted somebody to design the book, and I literally didn't know, and I was so I think for a couple of weeks I was just stagnant. I didn't know what to do, and I prayed about it, and I didn't even know you, and for some odd reason we started talking about that subject, and there I am. Here's my journal a year later. See? So prayer also helps.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. I think we have an idea of the steps to take, and I think having a coach is necessary.
Very, very important.
Yeah. So now we are going to talk about, I think, so now let's say you have a coach or all these things, but what do you think about now, like, first having a vision? But I think you didn't talk about having a vision. You see, like before you even, I don't know, engage with finding cultures or planning your life around. Is so. What can you tell us about having a vision for your life?
I think, as I mentioned, within the SMART goals, you would have
Yes.
already set what your vision is, or what your goal is for your life, and then according to the goals that you want to achieve, then you will then know who to which coach to listen to, or who to listen to, in order to help you in achieving the goals that you want for your life.
Very, very, very interesting. All right, so now I'm having a question. I hope that the people watching us are also asking themselves these questions. So I have a question, and it's actually something that someone told me about, right? So I have a friend of mine who called me, and she said, Arnold, I'm having like many goals, but I'm not able to achieve them. You see, like I'm not able to achieve them. I will say that I will wake up like in the morning, I set my goals. This year, this is what I'm doing. This week, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But at the end of the week, I realized that I did the opposite of what I planned to do. You see. So now, how can you help us on? Okay, how can you help us, me personally, and the people watching us? How can you help us, like, to actually understand, to know what's how can we like achieve
the goals
our
that
goals?
we set out?
Yes. or how can we keep up with the plan that we are setting for our lives?
Okay. So one of the things that also plays part is that sometimes we have a bit of changes within our schedule that takes place, and now you're not able to achieve whatever you set out for the week. One of the things that you can do is actually go back or take that goal that you had for that week and put it for the next week.
Okay.
All right. So that it helps you to keep on track. All right. So you have a backlog of things, and then you readjust whatever that you had planned for that month or for that week. Another thing, I think, don't have too many goals. Have I think for the year only have about 10 goals, because
10 goals for a year.
I think 10 goals is kind of reasonable. Or if you want less, 5 goals, that could actually, because remember, it's life planning. So it's for each and every area of your life. So if you have just one goal for that year, then it's also fine. But you find that people can actually achieve that goal within 6 months. And then what else? Then you will set another goal. So, excuse me. So have a few goals that you can bite, and that you can really look into and know that you can achieve, unlike taking a whole big goal and then you don't even know how to achieve it. I think I'll take an example for you. You can only do 1 year per year. You've got 3 years, isn't it? I think you're studying, maybe let's say a diploma takes about 3 years. So you can only focus on those subjects for that year. So that's what's going to be your goal for that year. So you don't even worry about the other goals and all of that. Just focus with what you have to do, the most pressing things, and the ones that are actually going to make a big impact on your life. So then you work on those that you need to, that will make a big impact on your life, and then you start working towards it. I think another thing is to develop a plan on how you're going to achieve those things. Research, like I said, is very important. Contact the people that have already achieved whatever that you want to achieve, which could actually help you mitigate some of the areas which are challenges and obstacles that you're going to face in life. So I think, so that when you now get to the coach, you know which relevant coach to now get into. Sometimes you cannot even afford a coach, but you can actually have an online person that is just talking about whatever that you're doing, like a fitness instructor, or maybe you can follow somebody that is already in the fitness industry, or you are into graphics, you can just follow somebody that is doing that. So nowadays we can learn a lot of things online. We don't necessarily have to be at a university or in the presence of somebody. We can learn everything that we want to do online. I'll also take an example for myself. There's a lot of things that I can't set goals for. I can only set maybe, let's say, 1 objective for that day. And then I know that my time is cut out for the family, for the kids,
Yes.
for homemaking and all of that. So there's only 3 goals that I can achieve in the day.
Yes.
And let's say for today my main goal was just to have this interview. The next goal is just to go to the gym, and the third one is just to be with my family. And for that day, that's what I've planned, and I've achieved my day's goals. But tomorrow, obviously, I'll now look into the business I didn't set, and I'll look into maybe into the kids' homework and all of that.
Yes.
So that's how I actually manage my life and my goals that I have.
Wow, very, very, very interesting. All right, yeah, I think after what you've said, right, I think I'm having another question is, how do we stay motivated? Because today it's very, very complicated and very frustrating with our goals, you see. Like, let's say, especially for me, it has become like a barrier for me. If I didn't achieve a goal, let's say for a day, it's a barrier for me to achieve the goals of tomorrow. You see, like, now, how do I stay motivated to keep on moving forward, achieving goal? Maybe if I fail to achieve one of the goals, okay, how do I stay motivated on putting it again
for the next day?
Yeah, and keep moving forward?
That's an interesting question, and personally, I think it speaks to me. I think I've had to be very patient and kind to myself. That it's not the whole journey or the whole goal that I would need to celebrate, but I should enjoy the journey, because you're also growing and evolving as a person. So enjoy the little successes that you have, but also encourage yourself, so to say, that you can do this. Like, hype yourself up that you can actually do this. I think you should also look at what are the things that are causing you not to do whatever that you did for the day or didn't do for the day, so that it can help you so that it can help encourage you what you need to do for tomorrow. All right. So I realized when I became more true and more nicer to myself, so to say, then I was more a bit encouraged in order to face another day. I think also watching a bit of motivation kind of helped me, so that I know that there's challenges in between the road and to the journey that I'm going, or the goal that I want to achieve. I think also, like, every single day, I literally need to listen to something that will actually help me on the way and all of that, which is in line. I think also your community, your support structure can also help you to be motivated. I think call a friend or that has actually that is in line and believes in you to rather communicate that. And I think my husband has also been a strong point in helping me to see the other side. Sometimes I'll tell him that I feel like I didn't do so well, but then he would rather show me the other side, So I think sometimes we short sight ourselves in that we didn't do so well, but actually somebody can actually see the other part, that what you didn't do. So what I also developed for myself was that I tended to focus on the negative. So I would actually have a T account for my day, and I'll say what worked, and I'll list all the things that worked for the day, or all the things that I did do for the day. And then I would actually look at the things that actually didn't work for that day. And sometimes you find that there's more actually that was for you than was what was against you. And God actually uses those things to work together for my good. That is also one of the ways that I've become actually motivated along the way. I think, lastly, self-discipline is something that I actually have to work on. And I think a lot of people have to work on, in that you have to literally do the things that you need to do. Because it's not just when you feel like it that is actually important. It's the days where you actually don't feel like doing it that you actually need to continue doing it. Because it's the consistent things that you do on a daily basis that build up to that vision. Because you can't just say, Monday I felt like it and then I did it, and then all of a sudden Thursday to Friday you don't feel like it, now you fall off course. You're going to go back and actually not achieve the goal that you set up for yourself. So it's important to have self-discipline, to learn to have that self-discipline, so that you can achieve your goal. That will help you to become motivated to achieve the bigger goal. I think also visualizing the end success
Yes.
Of your goal, that why, the reason why for achieving this goal is so important to you, because then that will work within you. The main reason why you need to work for that day in order to achieve your goal.
Wow, this is very, very applicable and very profound. And I actually learned like three things right now. You see, like you said, I should be more kind to myself. And then the other part is being disciplined. Yeah, even if I don't feel like it, or even if we don't feel like it, yeah, me and
Just
the
do
people
it.
that are watching, we should do it.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very, very deep and profound. So now, like, how do we measure our progress? You see, like, how do we measure our progress? So let's say you are having a goal, and how do you make sure that you are really moving forward according to the goal that you had? You
Okay.
see, because sometimes we are having that thing of, we think that we are moving forward by being busy. You see, when you had a busy day, up and down. Yeah, you had a busy day, like up and down. Now today, like you are like, okay, you thought you were busy, but you didn't achieve much. You see, you thought you were up and down, but you didn't achieve much. How to
True.
measure our
Success.
progress, our success?
Okay, interesting, especially on the area of just being busy. All right. So I think it's important to have your weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual goals. I think with keeping track with that way can help you to see whether you are in line or not in line with the goals, with the whole goal.
Okay.
All right. Another way is that I've got a Proverbs 31 planner that can actually help you on a day-to-day basis, on a monthly basis. You can actually get to see that, are you achieving the main goals that you need to achieve on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, so that you can see that you are halfway towards your goal or not. I think one of the other things that you can also use, maybe let's get back to that example I gave about losing weight. Use a scale. The scale is the best way to see whether you are achieving the goal that you want. I mean, if you are weighing 90 and you want to weigh, let's say, 80 or something like that, the best is just to weigh yourself every now and then to see whether you are in line. Are you gaining more or are you losing? So that can actually help you see that you are actually in line with the goals that you want. Another thing can be your habit tracker. You can use a habit tracker in order to help you to see whether you are you are consistent with the habits and disciplines that you need to accomplish the overall goal.
Yes. Oh, very, very, very deep. Yeah, I think we've learned some few stuff today, right? So I think we have come to almost the end of our interview, and I've learned a lot. Personally, I've learned a lot about planning. Yeah, actually kind of into planning, into life coaching, things like that. But I didn't have certain precision about how to go with planning certain things, especially when I was like stressing myself too much. When I don't achieve a goal, it's like, okay, I will sit, and then not like I'm discouraged, but I just don't want to go back to that goal again. Like, okay, I leave it,
You block
and then
it.
I move to other stuff, you see. And then I realized that that thing will find me again. Like, I'll need to do it
In
again
the future.
in the future, you see.
True.
Yeah, but I've learned many things today. And
Okay, thank you.
I think today we have learned many things, especially when it comes to setting a SMART goal. You talk about SMART goal.
True.
And can you relate to us again? What is SMART goal again?
Well, basically, SMART is just an abbreviation of S, which is your SMART, which is specific, M, which is measurable, A, which is I forgot
Achievable.
Achievable, yes. And then your R, which is realistic, and then T is timely, within time bound. So you should have something that you are taking out by the end of the year, or within the 6 months, or within 3 months. So that's basically what SMART is.
Yeah, I think those who are watching us from today, we have learned how to set SMART goals. And today, I think, from today, we'll be setting SMART goals, and we'll be achieving our goals and have a successful life, like for each and every one of us. Yeah. So I don't know what Eulenda can tell us as the last word before we can end this session on this platform.
Wow, it has been a great interview, and just personally reflecting over my own life and journey of planning.
Wow.
I think that our lives don't always turn out as the people that we watch on TV, which is very important, that when you are listening and you see that your life is not turning out like other people, don't be so pressed in that you want to just use whatever somebody is using in order to work. Not everything might work for everybody. You need to find something that will work for you so that it will help to encourage you. What works for you might not work for another person, which is very important for your own journey. And I think also realizing that God has a purpose for your own life. So what worked for somebody else didn't work for somebody else, but God has you. God has your back and can help you in that situation work it out. Know that the coaches are not always there, but you have the Holy Spirit that you can reach out to. I also have a planner that you can also use, which can help you to achieve the goals that you need to achieve. And I'm just very grateful that I found personal development and planning about life, which now can help me to have a very successful future.
Wow, 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 wow. All right, so this is KLEVACLICK Excellence in Action. So I think we are done here. Hope to see you next time, Eulenda
Thank you
Monday,
so much.
on this same platform. Goodbye.
Goodbye.